The future of some areas is also threatened due to climate change and urbanisation. According to a recent study, discrimination against women by restricting access to schools, hospitals and jobs is costing Asia-Pacific countries nearly $80 billion a year. In a 2007 study, the Pacific region ranked second lowest in terms of the regional average of women in national parliaments. Such factors illustrate the importance of prioritising the empowerment of women and involvement of men to reduce gender inequality in strategies, policies and funding related to the region. We are very conscious that after sub-Saharan Africa, Melanesia is the second area of the world least likely to meet the MDGs. However, engagement and action on population and development is growing. We can take heart, but we must keep trying. The region is full of strong people and networks, and people are meeting these challenges head-on. For example, just last week I attended a great seminar at the Australian High Commission with your wonderful High Commissioner, who really does reach out to the community, and we were celebrating International Women's Day. Among the speakers was a Mrs. Ofaki Levua Gutenberg Licky, who was a wonderful speaker and a wonderful woman, and she is the General Manager of the National Centre for Women and Children in Tonga. Ofa was inspiring as she spoke of the challenges of connecting perceptions of being a good mother with those women who also choose to take on leadership roles in the workplace. Ofa admirably spoke of the strategies they are employing in Tonga to get people to think out of the box on this issue, that you can work and still be a good mother, which is not something that some of our Pacific Island women and their families have traditionally been used to. Whether in the business, government or civil society arenas, New Zealand and Australia can support our neighbours in the region to meet population and development challenges. We can also highlight the Pacific at international forums where Pacific voices are often vastly outnumbered. Another key lesson NZPPD has learned is the value of cooperation with broad networks in creating positive change on population and development. NZPPD greatly values its relationship with civil society and actively promotes dialogue between government, civil society and its work programme. For example, NZPPD has coordinated 2 open hearings on population and development issues in New Zealand. In March 2005, we held an open hearing into the elimination of violence against women and children in New Zealand. And we produced a booklet like this, which I can share with you later on. This then became government policy, and we have just invested, the current government's just invested millions of dollars into reducing domestic violence, and the phrase we were using is, it's not okay. And it's, that hearing has had a huge positive impact on our society, so we're very proud of it. We also held an open hearing on youth sexual health in New Zealand, and this is the booklet that was produced from that. And now the Ministry of Health are required to report on progress on youth sexual health issues, and the Minister of Health has to report to the Parliament on developments and progress in youth sexual health issues. So those are 2 examples of things that our committee have done that have had real tangible, measurable benefits to date, with further measurable outcomes to be noted. The hearings provided an opportunity for civil society representatives and government agencies to speak freely and frankly together on the issues, and the resulting reports do provide a summary of the situation that were presented to the hearings and make recommendations to the New Zealand Government, as I said. Those hearings have greatly raised awareness and action on the topics, and also the open hearing and corresponding reports were presented and distributed to our partners in Asia and the Pacific. In fact, we have completely run out of them, and they're going into another reprint. So popular have they been because of the informative nature of their contents. NZPPD also greatly values engagement with other parliamentarians. NZPPD representatives have participated in many regional and international parliamentary forums. Such opportunities allow for parliamentarians to learn, share and agree on strategies and activities. It's important that we work together. NZPPD is a member of the Pacific Parliamentary Assembly on Population and Development and the Asian Forum on Parliamentarians on Population and Development. Our engagement with these forums has highlighted the value of peer learning and exchange. Whilst recognising our differences, and there are many, we often face similar challenges, and advocacy methods and success stories can be shared and adapted. We don't need to always reinvent the wheel. In 2006, NZPPD drove a budget bid for New Zealand to increase its overseas development assistance in line with the internationally agreed target of 0.7% of gross national income. The New Zealand government has since committed to increase overseas development assistance to 0.3%, not enough, but we will continue working, and has promised to reach 0.35% by 2010-2011. And as I said, our work continues in this area. Our committee is a bit like rust, we never sleep. The NZPPD is also developing its activities to engage ministerial and parliamentary staff on population and development. More people who are attuned and know about what you're doing, the more influential and effective you're likely to be. This is in recognition of the key role that our colleagues play in developing actions at government and parliamentary level. And for example, in 2007, we coordinated an information session on population and development for the executive assistants and private secretaries of New Zealand MPs. We can't work without our staff. Our staff play an integral role in helping us do our daily work, so we feel it's valuable to include them in information and sharing as well. And let's not forget the cross-party group that has been key to our strength and success. NZPPD have also learned the value of getting to the heart of the matter. For example, in April 2006, NZPPD members participated in a study tour to Papua New Guinea. The visit focused on the importance of investing in sexual and reproductive health in order to achieve the MDGs in the Pacific. NZPPD members were joined by Australian MP Duncan Kerr and representatives from the New Zealand's International Aid and Development Agency NZAID, Family Planning International and the media. And having the media along was very beneficial because we actually got to see it on television, and so did other people get to see it on television. As well as official meetings, participants met with sex workers, visited hospitals, health clinics, schools, community development projects and NGOs. It was no junket, it was very hard work. Delegates met with Papua New Guinea's only female parliamentarian, Dame Carol Kiru. Dame Carol continues to make a stand for her country and people, and there is much we can all learn from such determination, dedication and dynamism. NZPPD members shared their findings and recommendations for action in a report titled Study Tour to Papua New Guinea, Raising Awareness of the Millennium Development Goals in the Pacific. The impact of this study tour was on many levels. A good deal of media coverage was obtained in both PNG and New Zealand, and this resulted in increased awareness in the importance of good sexual and reproductive health in achieving the MDGs in the Pacific. The profile of local partner organisations and population and development issues in the country were also raised. And my fellow NZPPD members felt they could speak more confidently on the issues after seeing the situation with their very own eyes. NZPPD has developed a good working relationship with New Zealand NZ Aid Development Agency, and NZ Aid representatives attend our monthly or quarterly meetings and events and regularly exchange briefings and information. And I'm happy to say that support for the MDGs is at the core of New Zealand's own contributions to the global effort to reduce and eventually, hopefully, eradicate poverty.